Hello, welcome to episode 8 of the AT Cinema Club. This might seem a bit weird as I'm coming to you at the start of the episode here. Don't really know what I'm supposed to be saying, but I'll hand it over to Harry with the synopsis of the film we're covering this week.
Yes, Alfie is very enthusiastic about these.
Very.
This week we are covering Stand By Me, a 1986 film directed by Rob Reiner. Get ready for this because it's going to be a mouthful. Starring Will Wheaton as Gordy, River Phoenix as Chris, Corey Feldman as Teddy, Jerry O'Connell as Vern, and
You almost had it.
Kiefer Sutherland as Ace. It's the summer of 1959 in Castle Rock. 4 12-year-old boys, Gordy, Chris, Teddy, and Vern, learn of the general location of the body of a local boy who has been missing for several days. They set off in the woods I can't read today. They set off into the woods to see it and are faced with a 20-mile journey involving near-miss train collisions, bullies, and a lot of leeches. Along the way, they learn about themselves, the meaning of friendship, and the need to stand up for what is right.
Yeah.
This film had a budget of $8 million. Did you see how much it made, Alfie?
No, how much did it make?
$52.3 million. So we've got another success story going here.
I think it's probably almost about even for films that have made money on the podcast so far.
Yeah.
A lot of ours have been flops, like
a
episode
lot of
7.
have made no money. No, I really like this film.
Yeah.
It's a Stephen King adaptation.
Yes.
He's one of the first, I'm assuming. I know The Shining, and obviously I think might have came out earlier, but we've had a lot of Stephen King adaptations now.
He did a lot.
It must be one of the early ones. Likes and dislikes, Alfie.
That was very fast, isn't it?
Very fast. We'll start with what you like then. What do you like about the film?
I thought the character development, well, not just character development, all of the characters, the 4 kids I'm not going to ream off all of the names every single time I talk about them.
Vern, Teddy, Chris, Gordy.
Yes, there we are. The boys. They're all really well done. I thought they played off each other really well. It was a cool dynamic between a lot of them. Especially, I liked Chris's character throughout, showing sort of the difference in between what people see a person to be and think they are to what they actually are. I liked how that kind of Chris towed the line between looking and essentially being to everyone one of the sort of shady kids, one who'd never really do anything with his life, to someone who really had the chance to and the potential to and did in the end, but didn't believe in himself. Yeah. He was a very smart guy, but didn't believe he could, and sort of let people's perception of him bog him down. But then ultimately, at the end, he goes on, does great, which I thought was a really cool thing. It was a cool message.
I think child actors are always very hit or miss.
Yeah,
and they seem to get 4 like
pretty
really successful. Like it's gonna escape my head now. The person who plays Teddy. That is Jesus Christ, I can't remember his name. Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
He is basically the 80s child actor.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman.
He is Goonies?
Yeah, he's in everything. Goonies, Friday the 13th, loads of them. He is basically like when you think of the 80s kid in films, it's Corey Feldman, and he I don't think he's the best character out of them all.
No, I'll get onto that in the dislike section.
He gives the best performance, I think.
Yeah, true. His character's the more...
He's the more complex and out there.
Yeah.
He has a lot more range to perform.
That's true.
Because he's talking about... I mean, they say he's like crazy.
Yeah.
He's not. He is, and he isn't at the same time. It's really weird. But
it's
I think
really interesting character.
That adds to the complexity of the character. This is quite a big thing I liked about it, and tend not to like about films. I really liked the voiceover.
I thought the voiceover played in really well.
It made it seem like a book, but not in a bad way.
Yeah,
because the film is genuinely straightforward. That's why I love it so much. It's just like, oh, we're doing this. Like, there's no beating around what they're gonna be doing.
No,
there's
it's a really great straightforward narrative.
It's straightforward. You know what's happening, and it's just simple. Yeah, which some films is too simple.
Yeah,
and this is it's just the right mix between not filming yourself going on a day out, and but with some story in it, and it does it really well. The story is obviously all about maturing and growing up, and also the friendships you have. Like at the very end, he says, like, I've never had a friendship the same as when I was 12. Jesus does anyone.
Yeah. That's a really...
it's really a very, you know, when you listen to it, it's like, you know what? He's right.
It's a very good message.
You can't have the same friendships because you've got responsibilities.
It's just life, really,
He says in the thing, we're at a time in our lives where we know where we're going and we know what we wanted to do, because they're all pre-teen as well.
Yeah, that's true.
It is one of my favorite endings to a film
It
ever.
was a very
basically from when it cuts away, like, so they say they're not taking the body back.
Yeah.
When the voiceover starts about them walking home till the end of the film, that's like what I class as the end.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It is like one of my favorite endings just because of
it
how
was done very well.
I don't. It's really hard to explain sometimes when you watch a film and you just click with it.
Yeah.
You just think, like, I know we were definitely not born in the 1950s, 1960s.
Wait, seriously?
No, I know, right?
I'm not 70. Whoa.
And it's funny when I watched this with my dad, who is 62. Hope I haven't got that wrong. He's obviously was born. He was born a few years after the film is set.
Yeah.
But he says, and he was in England as well.
Yes.
He says he has some very similar experiences of being a kid and just
finding dead bodies.
No.
Regular activity.
I found a couple in my time. No.
Ooh.
No, but the more like now, we're a lot more connected.
Yep.
And if you told your parents, I'm going to go camp out in Thingy's yard, as they say in America, and
weird,
you'd ring someone and go, oh, how is Harry enjoying the sleepover? He's not at my house. Oh no, ring the police.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
You know,
they can just go missing for 2 days.
Like back then, they
got
2 days, and it's like normal.
Yeah.
It's like
they're not bothered.
It's such people like that had experience like that, which you can't now because everyone's so connected.
Well, it's not as common as it
and
makes
obviously, even in rural, the only place you could do this is in rural England here.
Oh yeah.
Now, because of the amount of, even if you're not in a city, how built up places are.
That's true. Yeah.
Like we live in Teesside, and there's not many fields around here you can go.
Well, I mean there is, but
I know,
really want to camp
can't go down the railway line and like try to find something.
It's not in Thornaby or Middlesbrough.
It's not
camping out with Thornaby Town Centre.
It's not something you want to be doing, I guess.
I mean, we're not knocking anyone who wants to camp out
by the rail track
fields in Teesside, but you do you.
You know.
I also really liked, as we talked about earlier, I liked the sort of circular nature of the narrative, with it starting off with him reading and talking about Chris's death, and linking it back at the end, because it's not made it clear at the start that it is Chris.
Yeah.
But at the end, obviously, he talks about how Chris went on to become a state attorney or something, and then got stabbed.
Yeah, it has the newspaper at the beginning, doesn't it? Where it says Thingy stabbed in restaurant. And then the guy starts talking about his childhood friends.
Yeah.
So
it's
watching
like a memorial
it for the first time, which I'd watched it before, so I knew what was happening. But I think Alfie watched it for the first time.
Yes, it's my first
time.
So
you don't technically know that it's them who he's talking about. It's not until the end where it goes, he walked into a bar, I walked into a fast food and was stabbed.
Yeah.
It's like, that's really when you kind of really, that's the light bulb moment of this is why he's talking about this journey.
It's like it's
a journey that changed him for the rest of his life.
The film itself covers a lot about loss, obviously, with loss of friendships and loss of Chris. So I think that tying the whole film together really nicely at the end makes the message almost a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a coming of age, but it's not just a coming of age in sense of, you mature, you grow up. It's that not everything will stay the same, that you will lose people and you'll lose friends. But ultimately, it's like,
you'll always remember
looking back fondly on it.
Yeah.
Even though Chris is dead, this experience that objectively isn't really something very good. They're trekking a really long distance to go see a dead body. For all it's not really the best, to him it's one of those memories he'll always cherish, which I think is a really nice message at the end.
It's like he says about the friendships of being 12. He never sees Vern and Teddy after a long time. He stays friends with Chris for a bit longer because of their college courses, but then they split up too. But he says, like you say, if he had the same friends, he could be friends with people from when he was 20, and he'd probably still be friends with them at that time.
Yeah.
But he won't remember them as much as he does the kids that he was friends with before.
Because they sort of have more of an impact on him growing up, really, because they build you up as a person when you're that young, being the people who you're surrounded with.
I guess moving slightly away from the story elements is, I've written a note here that just says, the comedy is funny.
Yeah, it was quite
There's a lot of it really captures how kids even now talk to each other.
It's just realistic.
Which one of the ones is like obviously them swearing and stuff.
Yeah.
And like the kind of the kid thing about it of they're doing it.
Yeah.
And not like because they can, but also then the childishness of them going, Superman is a real guy.
That is one of my notes. I love that conversation so much.
You know, is it Mighty Man or something? We don't.
Mighty Mouse.
No,
it was a mouse, wasn't it?
I don't know. It's another
they were deliberate
comic book character.
I'll try to figure out where you talk about this.
It's another character that they're trying to see who would win in a fight, and he's like, "Oh no, but Superman's a real guy." The other one's
It is Mighty Mouse. Yeah.
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was talking about how
Mighty Mouse is a cartoon character, yeah, and Superman is a real guy.
And then it cuts away and just doesn't elaborate. Doesn't let the conversation go further.
Back to the conversation.
It just goes away.
And even the one bit where, oh yes, it's Teddy when they're about to cross the bridge that eventually the train goes across, and he goes, "You guys can stay here, but I'm gonna go and relax on the other side." And one of them goes, "You can use your right or left hand." And it's like it's so much how they talk to each other.
It feels very genuine.
It's like the other thing I've literally got written down is your mama jokes.
Yeah.
Because there's literally they dedicate a whole section to them going, everyone had most joy of degrading one's mother.
Yeah. It's great.
There's just so much talk about it. And I guess moving back to the train scene on the bridge.
That's one of my things here.
Not the chicken one when he jumps across. When they're walking across the bridge and they end up running. I'm going to give a little shout out to mine and Alfie's old GCSE English teacher here, Mrs. Adams. I don't know if she listens to this. I hope she does. That'd be cool.
That would be cool, but
the cinematography, especially for that scene, in building the tension, it's so simple but so good.
It's very effective.
So the cinematography is quite a simple, because it is following some kids around.
Yeah.
You get some shots of the landscape, but the way they use the cuts and then zoom out, well not zoom out, they do a long shot, an extreme long shot of the bridge, and then the changing of angles. It really gives the tension that you know something's going to happen. And it's like, whoa, what?
And then even the climax at the end where the two of them dive off out of the frame to what looks like
you don't know what's happening.
And then even when it but cuts down to show them from Teddy and Chris's perspective.
Yeah, it will be.
The two of them are very nearly off the edge. So it's that entire sequence we studied a lot. It's an example of building tension. Obviously not for films, it was for writing stories, but whatever.
It works like this
It still is such a great way of building tension, even just so simply with the use of angles and the suspension. Honestly, it was fantastic. I love it. It's a great scene.
There's so much things I could say that I could like about this film. But I think we're going to have to move on to the dislikes, because I do have a few. It's probably the least amount of dislikes I've written for a film. They are very small. It's like, I think too much time is given to the Lardass story.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand why they put it in, because the director wanted to show how Gordy is thinking of a story in a kid's mind, with everybody just throwing up all over each other. But I thought it was a bit too long. You maybe could have told it and not. It's really weird. Some of the flashback scenes make it more of an uncomfortable book adaptation than the voiceover sometimes.
Okay.
Mainly the one. They're not bad. When I watched them, there was something that I thought,
fair enough, yeah.
Are they needed? But then also I thought, but they are, because Gordy doesn't want to say it out loud. It's in his head.
That's true.
So it could do either way you look at it.
It could also just be him looking back on it at the time as well. Thinking how he felt at that moment.
I think this is when we both put down leeches.
Yeah.
I don't...
no. I won't say any more.
I rewatched this on the train back from London, and I was queasing. Just like,
it makes me feel a bit sick thinking about it, if I'm honest.
Not good. Yeah, please watch the film. I don't want to make myself more uncomfortable by explaining it. And Ray Brower's dead body, he doesn't look 12.
No, he looks very old.
The thing is,
not very old, but older.
I found the actor, and I can't remember how old he was, the one who had Ray Brower. But he might be 12, but he didn't look it for some reason when I watched it.
He was decomposing, so it could be that.
Yeah. I mean, no, but 2 days, Alfie.
I mean, he don't. What? Whoa. He don't. He decomposed quite a lot in those 2 days, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
His skin's gone.
I think it was just the blood leaving his body.
Really weird. One of the ones I've got is I found Teddy's character pretty annoying at some points.
Yeah.
I understand the character that he had to play, but at certain points I felt like he sort of overshadowed everyone else, and for all it was supposed to be a film focusing on the four of them.
Character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously Gordy's the main character.
Yeah.
It focuses on the relationship between the four. Teddy quite often stood out a little bit too much, but equally, all fits in because out of the group, he is the crazy one. He's the one who's essentially the one who's on the outside, because he's not really someone who's going to be with them forever. You know?
Yeah, you are right. I think when you first watch, you think this guy's a bit mad. If you think deeply into it, you could say it's to do with the story, which we've said, him being more outside and more crazy. But he does seem a bit over the top sometimes.
Yeah.
And it is good, but I don't have any more dislikes.
I've got a few more. They're all just kind of minor.
All right, then I'd like to hear them.
Ace and the gang could have been slightly more developed rather than just showing them to be, because they are the antagonists across the film, but they don't really seem to be that much. Like, I can't.
They seem to pull from the classic 80s bully.
Yeah.
I guess when you watch other films from the time, and then even like Carrying On, but Ace seems to be the only one, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Who actually seems to be a bully.
Yeah. The others seem to go along with it. I think the screen time they're given was sufficient.
Yeah.
But the actual gang wasn't used in the best way. Even the screen time they're given wasn't used the best. They were shown to just be layabouts, really.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much, just hanging around.
Yeah.
Want to go find a kid's dead body. It's a very minor thing. Other thing is that Gordy didn't shoot Ace. I understand why he didn't, but I fucking hated the fact that he stood there for so long holding it and didn't shoot him. I actually really didn't like that,
because
which I think
the story wouldn't have been the same, Alfie, if it involved him murdering.
What I would have loved is Teddy to fall from the trees above with a rock in his head and just Keith.
No. Gordy Vern just squashing him.
Well, Harry P making a fat joke about like a 12-year-old kid.
They did it themselves.
Well, yeah. All right. Anyway, that's about it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite. Like, it would be in my top films. This.
I can see why.
Not like top 3 or top 5, but definitely one that I'd be like,
I think this is
you
probably
need to watch this.
One of the high rated.
So Alfie, what have you rated Stand By Me from 1986?
I think overall, really my only issues I found with it weren't really that big of a thing.
Yeah,
they're all very minor things.
It was more like made me uncomfortable. Yeah, it didn't really pull away
things
from
that
the
just
film.
kind of like, but they were still done well. So I'd have to give it. Ooh, there's a bit of deliberation here. I've got 2 numbers down and I'm trying to decide.
The number I put down when I watch it is the number I do, because I'd be contemplating it forever.
Yeah, right. I'm going to have to give it an 8.5.
An 8.5.
It's the highest thing I've rated anything so far.
Yep, same here. It's one of my favourite films. It's such a simple concept, done so well. Even Stephen King cried when he saw it. It's his
crying at his own book.
No, yeah,
that's really impressive. Actually,
he said to the director, "I don't know," because he hates The Shining. I'm pretty sure. He said at the time this was might still be his favorite adaptation of one of his. He said it was done perfectly.
That's
it,
great.
It didn't stick to the book all the way. But,
yeah, well, it shouldn't really, should it?
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be. But mine was, I've given it a 9.
That is the highest score anything's gotten so far.
Because I wanted to give it a 10, but I didn't think I could justify saying it was technically perfect.
Yeah.
Which brings it to a 8.8, I think.
That is the highest we've had anything so far.
Which
and
is the highest.
I'd say it definitely
fits
spot.
it. I don't know, it's something about being such a simple film. There's nothing flashy going on. There's no good special effects. It's just...
It really highlights the message, doesn't it?
We haven't had a film yet, I think, that has a really solid story accompanied with everything else.
Well, the only one that came kind of close to it is Rain Man, I'd really say.
Yeah, which has a solid story.
Sorry.
I think we did pretty well there for an 8.8.
That's very, very good.
Questions this week, Alfie. You thrashed me last week.
Yes. Too far. I did choose some pretty bad ones.
Not very well. You got all 3, I think.
Yeah, and you got
one. As usual, we'll let you start with the first question for Stand By Me.
All right. So obviously, as we said in the discussion, the film is based on a Stephen King novel. So which of these Stephen King novels has yet to be made into a film? As of March 7th, 2023. So don't get on my ass, anyone. So, The Dead Zone, Insomnia, or Christine?
I have no clue. I thought you were gonna like The Shining, Doctor Sleep.
That's too easy then, isn't it? Really.
Say them again.
The Dead Zone, Insomnia, or Christine.
The Dead Zone.
It's Insomnia.
What?
I'm fairly sure.
Jesus.
The Dead Zone is another 80s film.
Ugh.
Let me just check this.
Right. Here's your
1983.
Oh, so we're gonna guys next week on.
I think Christine might be too, actually.
It's Christine in the 80s film as well. Please.
Let me check.
Yeah,
83.
Oh my.
Well, there is also a 2016 one. It might be talking about that.
Right. Okay. Well, that's not a good start for me. Really. Your first question, Alfie.
All right.
What brand of cigarettes does Chris bring with him on the journey?
Oh shit.
You get no options.
My immediate one would be Marlboro, but I don't think it is, because that's just the one that always comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I have literally no clue. It's been about a week since I watched this. Marlboro.
No. Winston's.
Yeah.
If I'd have got this question, I would have said Camel, because they were the ones being advertised in America at the time. I don't know the difference between cigarettes. You were born in 1952? I don't know the difference in the cigarettes.
No, me either.
Okay then, Alfie.
Right. Damn. Okay.
Next question, please.
So, obviously, as the boys are just starting their journey, they realise that they need some food. They have a total of $2.37 to spend. How much is that worth now?
Okay, I think I know this. Do I have to get the pennies? Can I like...
I'm going to read you off some options.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, I think... Okay.
23, 27 or 30.
23.
23.
Yes.
I rounded it up because I was like, I don't really want to have to.
Yeah, I swear I saw something.
My deliberation was to do like 51, 52, 50.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was a bit too much.
Because I think I saw something about being like $22.
It's $22.51 now.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's what I get for taking it from IMDb.
I know. I originally thought, my God, how much was that bread? Then they got ham as well, which the meat probably cost more, I guess.
True. I mean, equally. Yeah. It doesn't really show how much.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell.
Okay, so anyway. 2.
Right.
In the original short story, written by Stephen King, it reveals how Teddy and Vern die.
Okay.
How did Vern die? A cinder block fell on his head after leaving a bakery. B, in a car crash. Or C, in a house fire.
Is it Vern?
Vern.
Right. So, the cinder block one, I initially thought it was Teddy, so I was like, that's probably not right. But given it's coming out of a bakery, and they made Vern quite...
You were going on about me for this, aren't we?
I've not said anything directly yet. A guy who appreciates fine food.
There we go.
I would lean more towards that, but the other two, this is a really like...
Yeah, so in the book, Stephen King, this is based off.
I need to start reading the books of the films that we're going to do.
They all died except Gordy. Like,
all right.
In the film, obviously, they go on and live lives.
Does.
Yeah, it does.
Vern
it tells
survives
what
and has kids.
Yeah, Vern has kids. Teddy goes to prison and has odd jobs.
I'm just going to say that he was killed by a cinder block.
No, wrong. It was in a house fire.
Did he leave the oven on?
Vern died. I don't know. Vern died in a house fire and Teddy died in a car crash. That's that one. I put that specifically in there.
I'm not having a good week this week, guys. This isn't great.
I put that specifically in there because it sounded like something.
And Harry's going to get this one as well. So this is one I had to put in because we both have the same question about the population of Castle Rock. Castle Rock.
Okay, what's this then?
So, what colour shirt does Chris wear during the film?
White. Yeah.
It's such a shit question.
Mine's a bit...
I didn't go into scientific papers this week, and that's the issue.
So was that third question for me, wasn't it?
Third question.
Did I get 2?
2 right.
2 right. Okay.
2 right.
Okay.
I've got none.
I think I might get you on 0 this week.
You're probably going to.
I might pull back because I really like this question. I wouldn't have got it unless you've seen it. That's the only problem.
I didn't really look too
What
much.
song do all the boys sing as they walk along the tracks?
Fuck's sake.
And I'll give you a clue. It's what they all sing because there's a few songs.
That's very helpful.
No, because Teddy.
What do all the boys sing?
No, because Teddy and Vern sing some songs on their own on the track.
Oh my
but it's the one they all sing.
Is it the one about a paladin or something? Because I have no idea what it's called. I could not tell you.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I can't. There's nothing.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for you for this one. I'm not going to give you the point, but it is The Ballad of Paladin.
Yeah.
So it's sang by them all in the first bit when they all meet, and it's sang mainly by Teddy afterwards. Vern sings it when he's trying to cheer Teddy up.
Yeah,
and then Teddy sings it when he walks home. I think I like that sweep of bonus question though.
Yes.
What is Goofy?
Oh, he's a dog. Why does everyone deliberate about this? In a show with a talking mouse, why can there not be a talking dog?
But he wears a hat and drives a car. Dogs can't do that.
Neither can
Pluto's a dog.
Pluto's a different breed of dog.
Yeah, but that dog doesn't walk and
in
talk.
biology here, dogs are the same species regardless of what type of dog. They look very different. I know obviously that Goofy talks and he drives a car, but he's still a dog. There's Donald Duck, he's a duck, he walks around, he's a duck, he wears clothes, a bit weird for a duck, right? Mickey Mouse also drives a car. Why can Goofy not be a dog? Wrong.
Now we've answered that, Alfie. Moving on.
Get ready
How
for...
relevant is the film?
Oh.
I think it's probably one of the most relevant films we've done.
I mean, I'm trying to think of the words to put it into.
It applies to everyone.
One of the most, I'd say, quintessential coming-of-age films that's ever been made, really.
It's such an accurate representation of, technically, we're not in the 50s or 60s anymore.
You've said this like 3 times. It's quite obvious.
I know. Yeah, no, sorry. If anybody's living back there, anyone's listening
anyone's
to the
time
podcast.
traveled back to 1959 to listen to this episode.
No.
Thank you very much for going through the effort.
Like, we won't have exactly the same experiences as they did.
Yeah.
And because kids did, but the message of friendship is probably perfect.
There's definitely a lot of themes that still apply to people now.
Yeah, I'd say definitely watch it. Like, out of all the films we've done so far, it's the most recommended.
This is definitely the
hardest. If you watch any of the films we've done, watch this.
Yeah, if you watch Brazil, why? Any of the others, actually.
Yeah, no, you can watch the others, but this one
is
definitely such a film that you need to watch.
Even if you've seen it before, refresh yourself.
Yeah, refresh yourself after watching
very
this. After listening to this, go watch it.
And that's it. That's episode 8. So we're recording this in a bit of a weird order. We've done episode 9 in advance.
We've done episode 9 before.
Because of our special guest who if you follow us, you'll already know, but never mind. Yes, that was it. I hope you really enjoyed and valued hearing our opinions on Stand By Me.
I'm sure they always do.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'll value your opinion, Alfie.
Oh, that's great. I'm really sure our listeners love hearing the opinions of 2 kids born 20 years after these were made.
20 years after these films were made.
My God. Anyway, so...
Well, technically, it's 26 years after.
We're not going to get into semantics. Anyway, so really hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
We would appreciate it if you went and followed us on
obviously
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
MySpace.
If we can, I will set up a MySpace. I'll try and figure it out.
We don't have a MySpace.
We might in the future.
Yeah, like Alfie said, please go and follow us on all of them. At 80 Cinema Club, yes.
That's kind of obvious at this point. But
yeah,
same with.
Got to remind them. They might have
we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Good Pods if that's working. We don't know. We'll talk about that in episode 7 because we're recording this back.
And YouTube.
We'll see.
Has some episodes on.
YouTube, depending on if it can be asked, might have more episodes on. It takes like a good hour to put them through various software.
And Alfie's very busy. He's very busy.
Pros of doing 2 sciences.
Oi, yeah, thanks for watching.
You sounded so like whatever. Thanks for spending probably half an hour of your day listening to us in your. No, I'm not gonna say that. Listening to us in your ears.
Yes, we're all up in your ears.
We're in your ears.
We should probably say goodbye now. So it's bye from Alfie.
Cheerio.
And it's bye from me. See ya.